Okay, here's another replay from the 300 versus Fengtian war, and 300 put another 3-star on Fengtian here, but it's almost a copy of the previous attack. So what I wanted to do on this replay is focus on defense. I just had a request recently for me to do more of the defense stuff. Some people remember that I used to be a reasonable defense player, and so what I want to do while watching the video is have a look at what's wrong with air attack right now in terms of this base, because this is a tweaked base in the sense that you've got a base here with air defenses which don't have the whiz towers in range, so you've got effectively useful, potentially useful whiz towers. And I've just done a video which said, look at these shallow whiz towers, they're not working. But I want to be clear what I mean by shallow, because shallow doesn't necessarily mean the position of the base. What I mean by shallow is there's just nothing protecting these whiz towers in front, apart from here. And so the way if you think about your base design, and this is I think a fairly common design right now, where you've got 2 infernos, 3 bows to air in the middle, and sort of a ring of air defense and whiz towers around the outside. Now, the issue I've got with this base is, I actually think that's not a bad structure for your weapons in your air defense, given that the air defenses are out of whiz tower range. But this is the problem with the base. Look, you can just drop fairly straight, and all of the defenses get hit at the same time, and that destroys all your routing. And the idea of air defense is what you want to do is you want to route the balloons. You want to bunch them. So if they're all going to hit at the same time, you get no bunching in your first layer of defense. You'll notice here. So let's have a look at them come in. Oops, that's me uploading a video. Just ignore that. But so you see, you've got no bunching out of those first 3 defenses which have gone down. And what would be better is if you had them in rather than straight, but in some sort of diagonal line, and then you've got a chance you might actually get some balloon bunching, and by bunching, then you can put them under splash damage, and now we're talking air defense. So, for instance, what would be not a bad actual structure, but what would be better is if you had a defense a bit further out here, and maybe here, and then you bunch them into here, and then they routed to here. And you've got bunched balloons under whiz tower fire here, and then you route them, around in range of the whiz tower and the inferno, but don't actually let them hit the whiz tower inferno. But the trick here is diagonal lines or semi-diagonal lines, not flat defenses. And this is what people are doing wrong in their base designs at the moment. You're seeing a lot of bases with really nice flat. Look at that! Oh, yum yum! You can drop to here. You might be able to drop to here, and you can drop to here, and it's fairly much. There's no routing, and so therefore you're not doing any bunching of your balloons, which sort of neutralises your air splash damage. Whereas if you had like a path of defence buildings across here coming to your air defence wouldn't go down straight away. It would hit them all the way through. And the balloons which you dropped here might pass over here, and then you're getting all the balloons bunched under air splash damage, and working around your whiz tower. And that's what people need to be thinking about in their base designs right now, when thinking about, okay, how do I actually get my air defense to work? I've got to bunch my balloons. The way I bunch my balloons is not simply by looking at my air defense positions and my whiz tower positions. I can't just leave my whiz towers exposed. What I've got to do is I've got to bunch balloons and get them to route around my whiz towers, and that's what we need to be seeing more of. Anyway, let's speed through this replay. You've sort of seen this style before. This was another win for 300, so this actually put them up to, I think, 3-4 in the war against Fengtian. And lovely, isn't it great to see a clan like 300 putting pressure on Fengtian, making them work. So great work there from 300, good 3-star. But mostly in terms of this video, start thinking about how are you using your outer defences to bunch balloons, and how are you getting them to bunch in a way that the bunches are travelling around your whiz towers, so you're putting a lot of splash damage on the balloons as they're going around.